Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with another episode of the Rider Review brought to you by 13K Productions after a 28-27 preseason victory over the Edmonton Elks. We're going to start off by going over some news around the CFL. Just want to say I was not able to watch this game because I had a bunch of stuff going on. I was a busy guy, but I was able to watch the highlights and I heard some news about the whole game. I have my notes written down here, so bear with me. I promise I will. I'm pretty sure I'll be able to watch the next game. I think it's on a Sunday, so and even if it isn't, I'll be listening to the first little bit and then watching it. So let's get into it. So the Hamilton Tiger Cats have signed defensive tackle David Menard from BC after he was released to make room for I believe it was Cameron, or it was, can't remember who it was here. I'd have to pull it up. But um, Menard to Hamilton is a really good move there. I like that move. The Riders took Carney, and I feel like they were sort of missing a little bit of an edge on the defense there. Um, Jameer Thurman, I think he's also gone. Um, I think that's a really good signing over there in Hamilton because They, I think they want to be competitive. I think they're still trying, and you go out and you get a guy and a Canadian like Menard. That's a phenomenal move, no matter how you look at it. Moving on, Emmanuel Arsenault, unretired, and this was actually via his Instagram. This is just a couple days ago. I'm filming this on Tuesday right now. Hopefully, it'll be up by tomorrow. I cannot, I make no promises, but if it is, hi, you're watching this tomorrow. But um, yeah, Emmanuel Arsenault unretired, which was something that I honestly didn't see coming. I don't think anybody in the CFL saw coming. Um, he's not. I don't see him going back to Edmonton. It looks like his stats. He's sitting at I think 90 or 92 over 9,200 yards, and I think the reason he unretired. This is just what I see. This is just what I'm guessing from looking at the post and the stats and whatnot. I think he wants to hit that 10,000 yard mark. And honestly, if he wants to do it, why not? Um, as to where I think he'll sign, I can't see him going back to Edmonton. I just don't think he wants to. I don't think he wants to play there. Um, Obviously, he's not going to be coming to Saskatchewan. I will shut those rumors down right now. If there's any rumors that come about that, if he does, I will slap myself in the face for you guys. I do not He's not coming to Saskatchewan. Straight up, we don't need the help. We have our Canadians. We have our backups. 6 of our 8 receivers are Canadians. So, where do I think he will sign? Personally, I believe he's going to sign in either Calgary or Hamilton. Mainly because I think he wants a decent workload. It's going to be pretty tough to get 800 receiving yards. Um, but if Calgary wants to bring him in, I think he's going to be there. I believe he'll be their most experienced receiver, and that's a number one guy immediately when he goes there. And then um, Hamilton doesn't have too great of receivers. That's not a strength. And I personally think that if they can bring in Arsenault, I think that'll be a really great move on Hamilton's part to help them be competitive. Next up, in a somewhat surprising, somewhat unsurprising sort of move, the BC Lions released Taekwon Mazel after just 1 year with the team as their starting running back. Um, I think he had over 700 yards and 3 touchdowns last season. Which I mean, if you think about it, not that great. But I'm pretty sure he was out with injury for a couple games there. I'd have to go back and double check. Don't quote me on it, but yeah, I do believe he was out for injury. And I think the Lions went out and got Stanback. So honestly, it's not super surprising. If you don't need him, don't keep him. You have Stanback. Use Stanback. I think it's a smart business move. Honestly, football is a tough business. Um, or I guess as they say, football is a tough sport and even tougher business. So, what can you do? I don't know. I don't think there's really any team that could use Mizell. Um, I, I'm trying to put two and two together here. I don't see any team that would take him up. Um, Best team I can maybe think of is Toronto, but I don't know. And then the BC Lions have acquired 50 Cent to open up their season. Um, he's slated to perform for their home opener, which is phenomenal get by the BC Lions. They posted to their social media accounts revealing it to the team, and that it's. I mean, like, wow. Like that owner over there is just doing something that I'm speechless. I'm speechless. I wish we got that kind of stuff over here in Saskatchewan. I honestly do. Um, and then I just found this out this morning. Again, I'm filming this on Tuesday. The Toronto Argonauts have signed former Winnipeg Blue Bomber returner Janarian Grant after a strong season over there in Winnipeg. Um, I think that this was a great signing. If Janarian Grant could get in there and get some meaningful reps, and I think he's going to be a very, very greatly impactful player for that team. Um, but let's get into the football game here. So obviously the score was 28-27 because Edmonton missed on a last-second field goal, allowing the Riders to go ahead and win the game. I want to say first things first for Edmonton, that Bethel Thompson and Curly Gittins Jr. connection that they had there in Toronto, and they brought that over to Winnipeg. That was a great decision. Honestly, I think Winnipeg found money in that connection there. If they can, keep that going, I mean, Edmonton may be competitive this year. I don't know, but I don't think so. I doubt Edmonton's going to be even close to competitive again this year, just because of how much they lost and didn't put back into their roster. Um, the Riders' special teams were on point. I think they scored 2 touchdowns on special teams, and especially that first touchdown that I noticed, it was a muffed punt by the Edmonton returner, and then I can't remember who it was that brought it into the end zone, but wow, our special teams is just phenomenal, right? And that's where these young guys come in and they make their names noticed, right? And how are you not gonna be excited for this special teams unit when that's our backup? Those are our backups. I'm pretty sure 99% of our starters didn't even dress and go to Edmonton. So it's really exciting to see our backups look that good. The defense, um, they were creating points off turnovers. Edmonton had almost, I think, over double our yards, from what I'm being told. But the defense was able to bail us out huge, even though they fell, but they were there when they needed to be. They created. I think it was like 3 touchdowns off turnovers or something like that, which is, I mean, or 2 or 3 touchdowns. Something, I don't know how many touchdowns they created off turnovers, but it was a phenomenal showing for the Riders defense. And we can't forget that they were playing the Edmonton Elks starters, right? So that just says something to what our starting defense is going to look like. I mean, I'm really excited to see what they're going to look like, especially that linebacking core. Our linebacking core. I'm pretty sure most, if not all of them, are Canadian. So, sorry, that's gonna be really exciting to see. And then Mason Fine. These stats are courtesy of Rider Nation _ on Instagram. Mason Fine went 9 of 11 for 75 yards and a touchdown. And I think that he is pushing for a starting role. Or not a starter. He's pushing for a backup role. I think he's going to be the backup QB. I think our QBs this season are going to be Harris, Fine, and Patterson. I think we were going to keep Patterson. I think we can play. Honestly, we could probably play all three QBs. I like Patterson's legs way more than I like any of the other two guys' legs. Patterson can run that ball like there's no tomorrow. So I really like that. I like that idea of keeping those three guys. I don't think we have room for Pipkin. Cone just did not look good at all. I didn't like what I saw from him at all, and it honestly it's disappointing. I think he needs another year of growth. I don't remember where they picked him up from, but he definitely needs another year of growth, and hopefully he can make something. But I didn't like the way he looked this season. Um, and then for another note for Edmonton here, Dean Faithful looked decent, which surprised me a lot. So congrats to him. He's actually it looks like he's improving. I'm super excited to see what he does. I think he came over from overseas. I can't remember where exactly he's from, but it's nice to see some global guys getting some success here. Um, but yeah, as for what I think, should be noted that there's no way Ajo is not a starter. He did not make the trip to Edmonton, which I think that means he made a start. He got the starting role. Yeah, he got the starting role. Now do we keep? Another thing is, do we keep Bertrand Nudo or Clint Rakovich? Um, Here's the thing. I personally would be fine either way. Um, I would prefer keeping Bertrand Nudo, but because just simply because of the reason that he's Canadian and would help our ratio. Um, I honestly like Rakovich looked phenomenal. Um, Honestly, personally to me, it doesn't matter. Honestly, I think we're in a good position with our running backs. Like our running backs are looking phenomenal. Um, and then I don't know if there was pretty sure. There's another guy I wanted to talk about. Jacoby Myers, or not Jacoby Myers. Meyer. I don't know his first name, but Myers, the Canadian. I think he's Canadian. I believe so. Don't quote me on that. But he. It says here his stats again. I'm gonna go once again. We're using Rider Nation underscore for the stats. Um, Myers was two receivings or two receptions for 22 yards and a touchdown. Um, Phenomenal. I think that's another start. I think that's another guy that they got to keep. Um, and I believe if they keep him, that gives us 6 of 8 guys on the starting roster as receivers that are Canadians, which is just phenomenal. Phenomenal. You have we are the Canadian. I think the Canadian Air Force is back. Honestly, I do. So I think that's pretty much all I have for today's episode. If you enjoyed it, make sure you guys give it a like, comment, a share, subscribe. Um, tell all your friends, guys. And make sure you guys come back not next week, but the week after as we recap the first regular season game of 2024. Thank you guys so much for watching.